watching Two Button Crew.
The daily show for Nintendo fans.
I'm Scott, and I'm kind of insecure.
I'm Simeon, and am I supposed to be insecure?
No, you're a world record holder.
Oh yeah, huh?
And I don't feel entirely worthy at this moment.
Hey, we're gonna get you there. We're gonna get you a world record.
Well, Simeon, you set a world record in Mega Man 6 for the NES.
Indeed.
And I'm not insecure about it. I just want to ask you some questions.
All right.
About that experience.
I'm ready to answer them.
What were your first memories of playing the series?
My first video game that I remember playing ever is Mega Man 2. And I remember the time that I beat my first Mega Man boss. I had popped in. I'd played Mega Man before and I'd beaten levels, but I don't think I'd ever beaten a boss because the games were really hard and I was like 4 years old.
Yeah.
But I plopped in Mega Man 3 and I'm like, I'm going to beat a boss. And I went and I beat Hard Man.
Nice.
Jamming that B button as fast as I could to try and shoot him and kill him, and I finally beat him.
That boss was really hard.
Indeed. That's why they call him Hard Man. How could he not be?
How does Mega Man 6 compare to all the other titles in the series?
It's one of the ones that people don't really talk about. It was released as one of the last games for the NES. It was, late in the cycle. Mega Man 7 was already about to come out.
Swan song, as they call them.
Yeah, a swan song. It was a swan song to the NES Mega Man games. And so it's one of the more written off titles. People don't talk about it. People say, oh, it's after Mega Man 3, therefore we don't talk about it.
Therefore we don't set records, which left
the door open
for you.
Exactly.
No, you beat one, right?
I did beat a record. At
the point that you were thinking, maybe I can set a record for this game, you must have beaten it a lot. You remember how many times you've actually made it through the game?
I actually don't. It's probably somewhere around 15, and that doesn't sound like a lot. But once you've played one Mega Man game, you've played most of them. So it's already, I got the feel, and it's time to just get down the specifics.
So did you realize at some point, I'm actually beating this really fast?
Yes, there was a time I was playing it on the Anniversary Collection, and it has a timer on the start menu.
That was GameCube, right?
That was the GameCube version.
The jumping and the shooting was backwards, right?
Yes.
Okay.
But I had kind of gotten used to that. Just as a side note, if you're gonna buy, I recommend that you go out and buy the Mega Man Anniversary Collection. But please, if you have an Xbox or PS2, get those versions because the GameCube version switches the controls, the A and B button, and you can't switch them back.
You blew it, Nintendo.
You blew it. I don't know whose decision that was, but you're dumb. So there was a timer, and I was at the last level, right before the last boss, and I pressed the start button, and I looked, and I saw my time, and it was just at an hour. And I wasn't trying to beat it fast or anything. I was just going through, taking my leisurely time, and I'm like, wow, I beat that kind of fast. What's the record for it? And I looked it up, and at that point there was no record, but that changed between when I had decided to start going for it and when I actually attempted it.
So Mega Man games, it's all about the route. You don't want to do the levels out of order because you pick up the weapon that helps you beat the other boss quickly, and so on and so on. What point did you realize that you had the route? And how'd you make it? I was actually debating it all the way up to the very day that I actually went for it. Well, first of all... That's smart.
First of all, Mega Man games, the levels are usually really, really straightforward. But Mega Man 6 does have some branching paths within the levels. You can choose the boss order in all of them.
Right.
But in the levels, you have some branching paths to choose from. And I had kind of picked those out, which one was the fastest. Once you decide...
Do those branching paths, do they lead to the rush power-ups? Is that what they're there for?
They lead to the beat power-ups. Okay. So you have to do all 4 of the levels that have branching paths. You have to do all 4 of those to get the beat power-ups. And I just had to figure out, okay, is it worth getting the beat power-up? And it's not beat stinks. So I didn't have to worry about that. Just
Nice.
had to figure out which is the fastest route. But boss order, I used the Mega Buster not for all the bosses, but for most of the levels, most of my time during the levels. And I think we'll talk about that later.
All right.
But the actual boss order, I had a main chunk of it already down, but there were a few that I was like, well, do I start out with these early? Do I do them at the end? And I hadn't picked those out yet. Mm-hmm. And so I could have changed my boss order a little bit, but I don't think it would have really mattered too much.
Yeah. So you had your route picked out. Mm-hmm. You realized, wow, I'm beating this game fast. Mm-hmm. Somebody else set a world record. You knew that you could have a really good chance of beating it. Mm-hmm. So, and we set an event for you to do this. So what was your practice like leading up to that day?
Honestly, it wasn't much. I really didn't try practicing that much, which sounds really bad, but it's like, okay, I've played Mega Man all my life. Yeah. I'm as good as I'm going to get before the event. And
didn't want to psych yourself out.
I didn't want to psych myself out. And it was just like this thing, like, whenever I thought of practicing, I'm like, I should really practice. But I had this sense of dread. Part of it was, I don't want to sit down for a whole hour and just play a whole hour straight of Mega Man.
I don't want to play video games.
I know, I don't want to play video games.
Too much work.
It gave me that. It was too much work. It became a work thing, so I didn't want to do it. And also, part of it was, what if I go through this game and realize that I can't actually beat the record? Which was one of my thoughts. But
do you remember what you're trying to beat?
It was 55 minutes and 59 seconds. I think it was almost exactly 56 minutes. And so that was kind of in my mind. And so that was part of it. But the night before the event, you were over. And I'm like, you know what? I should probably practice at least once the day before. And so I did. And I think I got a pretty good time.
Yeah.
But yeah, I honestly didn't practice that much, which is probably a bad thing.
So you wanted to have the actual record-breaking event held at your local college, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes, I was going to the community college, and I was part of my game club, and I had been talking with my club president, and he got all excited about it, and so he announced it to everybody, we're going to throw this event, we're going to have it downstairs in the common area, where everybody can see it. And
Nerd Heaven.
Everybody in the club was supportive. I even, during the day of the event, there were people, coming and stopping and watching.
I remember there's a looping TV next to you with just some gamer entertainment on it. I remember Team Fortress 2. I probably watched the same trailer hundreds of times.
Oh my goodness.
Ugh. You got a nice crowd. It was cool to be there because you'd blow something up and everybody would clap and cheer.
Woo! It
was cool. And I'm sure having that live support was good for morale too.
Absolutely. It was fantastic.
So we're here because you beat it. Mm-hmm. What was that experience like?
Oh my goodness. I remember the first time I beat it.
Spoilers.
Yeah, first spoilers. I beat it multiple times. But the first time I beat the world record, I died twice. And the first death, it came late in the game. So it was like, okay, kind of like a re-upping, okay, I can do this. I can do this. I can't die anymore. And honestly, when it got close to the last level, I was really nervous that I wasn't going to beat it, especially when I got to the last boss. I'm like, I'm not going to beat this. I'm not going to beat this. It's so close. Scott's next to me, telling me the time. You're like, you're at, such and such a time. I'm
Why did I do that? That's horrible.
Oh, I think I probably asked you. But anyways, it was kind of freaking me out inside. But it got to the final blow of the last boss, and I shot him, and I remember just being so darned relieved.
Yeah.
And everybody was excited. Everybody was blowing up, and we recorded the little ending sent into Twin Galaxies. I remember that.
Yeah. And my method of timing was I knew that if something happened to my timer, I would feel just the worst. So I actually got 2 timers. I remember I had my stopwatch, and then my iPod Touch with a timer, and I did them both at the same time. So it was this claw thing that I did to hit the side watch button and use my free thumb for the thing. So I got to do the official timing. That was neat.
Mm-hmm.
And what was it like beating the world record 3 consecutive times? Because you got done with the first one, and the gaming club president was like, all right, let's pack it up. And you're like, no way, man, I can do better.
Yeah, I'm like, we had planned it out so that I could have at least 3 attempts that day. So if I didn't beat it the first time, I could, you know, have 2 more shots. But in between the first and the second try, I had a class. So, like, I had just beat the world record, and then I had to go to class.
I didn't remember that.
Oh, yeah, I had to go to class, and I was, you know, talking with my classmates, and, you know, one of them had actually been in the room.
That's funny.
And then the other one hadn't. He's like, what? You know, oh, you know.
You weren't too cool for school.
I wasn't. And so, you know, stay in school, kids. You know, that's the point. So
you'll beat world record.
Afterwards, the first world record, I died twice.
Mm-hmm.
Each time was unique because the second time, it was the first time I had beaten, I think, that I'd beaten a Mega Man game without dying once.
Oh, nice.
I did not die a single time. And then my last attempt, I'm like, I don't know if I can beat it because I didn't even die the last time. I died on, like, I think it was the second level, the first or second level, and I'm like,
yeah.
But I actually made up the time, and I got my fastest time ever, which was, I think, 48 minutes and 26 seconds.
That's amazing.
So, yes, that each time was special, and of course, by the time the last attempt it was late in the day, there were a few people there, but it was still just as exciting getting to be there.
I have something for you.
Mm-hmm.
It's a driver's license.
Oh, yeah.
No.
Thanks. That's my driver's license.
Was that...
I don't know if I'm supposed to...
Oh, was that like keeping a page in this?
Yes, it was.
What page would that have been?
I like how it's that page right there. I put the driver's license in to keep the page. And he's like, oh, get rid of that.
Sorry,
I don't need that.
I'm trying to make a video thing
yeah.
right here. So.
Okay, so here we go. Mega Man 6. It's even featured there on the side.
Nice.
I have proof. Mega Man 6, NES, fastest completion, 48 minutes, 26 seconds. Oh my! I'm like Brendan Blakemore. Who's that now? Simeon King, USA, 20th of November, 2009.
That's what's up.
That's what's up, people. And boy, was it hype.
Yeah. So your record, in the time since, it's actually been beaten. Want to know about that? Will you ever attempt to take it back? And what's going on currently with Mega Man 6?
So, during last summer's, what's it called? Summer Games Done Quick.
Oh, yeah.
It's a charity event. Both Golden and Dark Terex, they had a head-to-head go-through of Mega Man 6 speedrun. Mm-hmm. And both of them beat my time by like 10 minutes.
That's interesting they didn't reach out to you as a world record holder to be a part of that.
Yeah, well, of course, I think it probably would have been pretty embarrassing. But
these are really good Mega Man players.
They were very good. Honestly, they're better Mega Man players than me. But I must say that their runs would not have been accepted by Twin Galaxies because they did exploit one glitch.
Ah.
And so their records would not have been accepted, but I don't think it would have.
Gotcha.
It literally would have made like a 10-second difference because they would have had to. There's this part in one of the stages where this, like these spikes are coming down from the ceiling. And if you slide under it quickly and if you press the start button at just the right time, it will give you a frame of invincibility or skip a frame of animation to where the spikes don't hit you. So you just have to press it at the right time. But it is a glitch. It would not have been accepted by Twin Galaxies, but like I said...
So you have the official...
I have the official world record still.
Nice.
As of like last week that I've seen.
So
I check on it every once in a while.
Like your daily routine between like brushing your teeth and washing your face.
Yes. You know.
All right, Mega Man 6.
Mega Man 6. Go play it. Thank you.
I probably wasn't able to clap for you at first because I had my claw thing going on. So I know this clap's a little late, but I just want you to know congratulations.
Well, thank you.
Thanks for watching. Thanks for being part of the crew.
Don't forget to like, to comment, and to hit that big red subscribe button.
We will see you at a later time.
Signing out.